And that sound can only mean one thing. It is an all new Drinks to Words by, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages.
Hello, hello, hello.
Coming at
Yeah,
you.
boys and girls of all ages, 21
Yeah, that's right.
and over.
Coming at you virtually today as, we just couldn't make it to the bar. Sometimes that's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to have those times where you can't make it. So,
Which seems to be the gonna be a lot more unmaking it.
well, we will see. Uh, you know, um, I've been going through escrow, as everyone knows, and anything can happen in escrow. You don't know, which is why they say do not make any big purchases, because just because you're in escrow doesn't mean it's a surefire deal.
Yeah.
So, uh, and a lot of people gave me advice not to buy anything or do anything too crazy. And I haven't. I've just been playing it safe and just been kind of leaning back and, trying to do my best not to spend. I did, however, come to the realization that I spend a lot of money on going out as far as like for food. Not making food
Yeah.
at home, but just kind of buying, food on the whim. So it's kind of stopped me from doing that. I
Have,
did.
do you see yourself being able to cook more once if
Yes.
and when you get this place? So you be
Yes.
using the stove and actually cooking?
Yes, because I mean that's the one thing that happens to me is I get home and it's 2-3 hours later, and by the time I cook it's like 7:30. So I'm eating super late, and by the time I would by my calculations I'd be home by 4:30 cooking. So that's a big time difference,
Yeah.
and so I'd probably be eating in 30 minutes. I'm not going to be making anything too extravagant like how we did on our first kind of test video that we did, which if you log on
Our duck
to,
à l'orange.
yeah, which if you go to drinkswordsby.com and then click the YouTube link right there, you could probably check out and see that video, which I
But
highly
see,
encourage.
you can. We were using those meal kits, those at-home meal kits, which isn't wouldn't be a too bad of idea. It saves you the time in going grocery shopping. It gives you all the ingredients, and then it's easy steps.
Yeah,
Like nothing takes more than maybe 45 minutes to cook.
yeah. Real quick, I'm hearing like a beep every like couple.
Yeah. So the fire thing, the fire
The alarm
detector.
detector.
Yeah, it's still on battery, and I don't have any batteries.
Why don't you just take the
So
battery out?
'cause I have to stand on a chair right now, and I don't feel like fucking cracking my head because I don't have
Well,
a steady chair.
but dude, so you're sleeping with this
I don't
thing.
even
You don't even like.
hear when I'm sleeping.
Wow.
Like I've got to the point where it just bypass it.
I wonder if your
I mean, I
body.
could try. I could try right now.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's annoying for me. I'm not saying it's annoying to the listeners, but I'm just like, are you gonna like?
It's annoying to you.
Yeah,
Okay,
but it's gonna be annoying to the listener. You know what I mean?
they
That,
don't care.
oh man, I'm gonna put you on
I,
full
I like
screen
how
for
I like
this.
how, I like how you said listener. Shit.
we have tons. I'm putting you on full screen right now,
Yeah.
so everyone can watch this.
Oh no, you don't want to see this shit happening.
Yeah, no, we could go viral, David. Which is why you need to go on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, and check us out. David, what are you doing? You putting your hand over your?
You see?
Wow, David was putting his hand over the
I'm not
video.
trying to. I'm trying not to fall.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, look, this is how to take the such drama already in the very beginnings of Drinks to Words by.
Oh god damn it! It doesn't want to come out. I'm turning more than this thing is.
There we go,
On a swivel
kids.
chair. Oh my god!
Is there like
It says to remove. Turn that away. I swear to God, I'm turning more than this thing is. I'm not the weakest of men.
I
This thing
know.
is fucking in there. That's probably why nobody's changed the battery.
Yeah. It's probably like cemented on. Oh my goodness. What kind of what kind of battery does it take? I'll bring
I have
you
no.
one. If we could open it, then we would know.
If I can remove the goddamn thing.
This reminds you of this cartoon.
I would assume it's like a child. It's like child-proof.
Yeah.
Ceiling. I feel like I'm gonna rip the whole fucking thing off.
This reminds you of a cartoon. I don't know if it was Warner Brothers or not, but the beep was going on.
Okay, this ain't happening. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries.
I need to stay your chair. Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
We tried. We gave it the old.
I'm gonna rip
the ceiling.
The old ceiling tray.
And then you're gonna tell the person, I don't know how this happened.
Here we go.
And then they're gonna be like, we saw that on YouTube. We know.
Yeah, I have a hole in the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, let's start off everything with a drink. What are we drinking today?
I made a quick pit stop to 7-Eleven. I have a Goose Island Tropical Beer Hug. It's an Imperial IPA. 9.9% beer.
Wow. It's a lot of beer. Yeah. I have the Buchanan's.
Oh, you went back to that?
Yeah, but I brought Coca-Cola.
You're not trying to make a old fashioned out of it?
No.
Never again.
There we go. That seems about the right amount. And let's now get to the. I go to this taco truck, and I get their special, and their special always comes with a drink, and it's 3 tacos, rice, beans. I'm sure everyone's fascinated by this, but and
it's the one by the car wash.
Yeah, that place. And they're like, oh, you get a free drink. So I usually get Sprite for the most part, but I was like, let me get a Coke because I know I'm gonna need it eventually for this Buchanan's. So it pays to plan ahead.
Plan ahead. Cheers, sir.
Cheers, man. And to you all listening at home or watching us, feel free to get yourself a nice little drink as well. That is appropriate for the time. If you're listening on the weekday and you're at work, sneak one in. Yeah. So, lots to get to, I guess, on this all new episode. Something funny.
Your new side job?
I'm looking.
Apparently, if you wear all black, you're a security guard.
Yeah.
Different.
I stopped off at the Cove because, it's a rarity in my life that I have a job where if it's slow, I've never really experienced this. If it's slow, they, let us go early. So this just happened to be a day where it was slow, and I got off about an hour and a half early. And I was like, oh, man, what do I do with this fantastic time? And as I was driving, I was listening to the Dodger game, and I wanted to watch it. So I was like, let me stop off at the Cove and see David as well, because I haven't seen him in a while. And so, and then that was the first time I ever just kind of kicked it outside the Cove for a bit. And it's funny because I run into the most random people there. And there I ran into this guy that used to go to the cafe that I used to work at. His name was Ryan. From what I remember. And it was cool. Me and him were just having a good time, just chatting about the cafe. And, he would always be in there with the laptop. And I'm like, were you writing the great American novel? Like, what was going on, And he was, and then I turned and find out that he became a software engineer. So that's what he was doing. I guess he was like writing code and studying and stuff like that in the cafe. So that was really fun. And so there I am, just outside, and I forgot how it happened, but somebody walked up to us, and they thought I was a security guard. Meanwhile, David's like 10 times taller than me. I'm like,
But you were wearing all black from work. You had black shorts, a black shirt,
yeah,
and
black
they thought you were
socks.
security. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
And when I tell you, David, I'm like, people really think I have like power. Like, it's really weird.
Yeah,
I've gotten
yeah.
that a lot, throughout my life, where people always think that I'm in charge. And I'm like, little do you know, young grasshopper.
I was like, fuck it. I can get off early. There you go. Start working.
Yeah, that was an interesting night. We had Weird Al Yankovic show up from
Oh
the.
yeah.
That was I never saw that person before in my entire life. But then again,
Neither have I. But we both had the same thought. What's up, Weird Al?
yeah, yeah, and I was gonna say that too. That I mean, I rarely go in at night anyway. So for all I
Yeah.
know, they could be regulars now. But yeah, she looked exactly like Weird Al Yank, but like the style of clothes, the hair, and it got me and David talking about Daniel Radcliffe, who's gonna play Weird Al Yankovic in the story of his life in the movies. I don't know if it's gonna come out in movie theaters or if it's gonna be a streaming
I
service
think
thing.
it's a streaming thing. I think it's called Weird, right? That's the title of it. Weird.
I'm not sure. I just know that he was. I read about it really quick in the trades, and I never got the name of the movie.
I'm excited for it. Actually, you said you had a Weird Al Yankovic story.
I did. You're right.
Yeah,
Good.
you were gonna tell me, but I was like, save it for the show.
Yeah. So at the time I was in radio, and we had extra tickets to Festival Supreme. This is the second Festival Supreme that happened. And for those that don't know, Festival Supreme was this really good idea. And I'm not sure why it stopped, but it was a festival of comedy and music together. And they had everybody, Sarah Silverman. They had just like all the big name comedians that lived in LA would go there, and this was brought to you by Tenacious D, Jack Black, and the other guy who we always called
The other guy, yeah.
who I met too. That's another story.
I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, and but like super big names, like huge names in comedy. And then they had really cool bands to go with that. So like they had the Aquabats, and one of my favorite bands that I've never seen play before because they're a cartoon band, which is Death Clock, was performing. And I've never seen him. For those that are not familiar with Death Clock performed. And for those that aren't familiar with the name, they have a cartoon on Adult Swim called Metalocalypse. And so it's a cartoon band, much like the Gorillas, but they do metal. And that's been a dream of mine to see him. So I got free tickets from the station, and I went. Kyle Gass is the other guy's name from Tenacious D. It just popped in my brain. So anyway, so I was like, I gotta see Death Clock. I'm like, that's one of my all-time favorite bands, which is hilarious because no one would peg me as a death metal band, but I always say that like they're what I believe death metal should be. Like whenever I hear death metal, it's
A
never
cartoon. Oh, gotcha.
yeah, this cartoon band. I'm like, but whenever I hear death metal, I'm like, it doesn't sound scary enough. It doesn't sound, I don't know. But this band got it right, and I truly do like them. I even bought a shirt, a Death Clock shirt, so I could wear. And I usually wear that around Halloween because it's a little spooky. So so I went, and they're like a surprise guest, right? And who was performing? I think Flight of the Conchords were performing too. So it was amazing. And
No,
so, what's that?
that's a really good show.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a really good
And I'm
show.
not
Like that
even
lineup's really good.
yeah, and you know what? Let me look at the lineup really quick just to make sure. And what was cool it was I had 4 tickets. And so I took a buddy of mine
This is
and
obviously before we met.
yeah. Yeah. And
You were still sporting the chops back then.
yeah. Supreme. I believe this was in 2014, I want to say. Let's see. Festival Supreme. Let's see. Music and comedy show. No, that was the first one. Yeah, here we go. This was, let's see. Let me tell you everybody that was on this one. Okay. I believe this was 2014. Yeah, this was 2014. What was this one? So it was Death Clock, Cheech and Chong were there, the Workaholics were there, Margaret Cho, Fred Armisen, Nick Kroll, Peaches, Drunk History, Norm Macdonald, Janine Garofalo, T.J. Miller, who you would know from what's that HBO series where they're nerds and they're
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember it.
yeah. Let's see who else was there.
He's
Eagles of
also, but he's also from Deadpool.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're right. Eagles of Death Metal. Dr. Demento was there. Doug Benson. Who else? Something called Comedy Bang Bang, which my godson was like, "Oh yeah, Comedy Bang Bang." So I was like, "Okay." Um, let's see, the Dan Band, which I believe is um, Lieutenant Dan's band. Let's see,
No, the Dan Band. The Dan Band is the band that comes out in like is it Wedding Crashers or
was
what's
it
the one where they go to Vegas?
okay? Yeah, Wedding
That's the
Crash.
Dan Band.
Okay, okay. And then see, we had the Aquabats. I already said. Oh, Eric Andre was there doing stuff.
I met him.
Yeah, Tenacious, and of course Tenacious D, and the list keeps on going. The list just keeps on going.
That's a lot. That's a lot of big names. I suppose.
Yeah, and the list keeps on going. I could have named 1,000 more, but I was just like, okay, these are. But I was just hitting like the kind of names. So you could walk in, and there were different comedy shows happening all over this space. And then when you weren't doing that, you could go watch a band perform. So it was really cool. So I believe Fred Armisen was on stage doing some comedy, and I was, dude, I must have drank like, I kid you not, like 14 beers. I'm not even kidding. And I'm just drinking, and I'm like walking, and all of a sudden throughout the crowd, nobody's even paying attention. I see him, Weird Al Yankovic, walking. He walks right by me, and my eyes like went. I went, oh shit! I go, Weird Al Yankovic, but I didn't say. I said it, but I didn't say it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he goes, and I'm like, but
You had a shared moment.
yeah, but yes, but nobody noticed. Nobody was paying attention. he was just walking through the
To the
crowd,
crowd.
and I was just like, oh
And
my,
that's why he said be quiet, because like don't draw any attention to me.
yeah, and I did, and I was just like, fuck. I'm like, Weird Al's a special guest, and then so when it was time for the special guest, I'm like, I know it is. So yeah, that was
See, that's perfect. You can like, let's go to the next person. Who's the special guest? I bet it's Weird Al
yeah.
Yankovic. How did you know?
I should have. But yeah, so it was yeah, so that was my Weird Al Yankovic meeting, I guess. I don't know if it was a meeting you could say or just a run into or very
Yeah,
Hollywood. Very Hollywood. I loved it. I loved it.
yeah.
You said that you
Very,
met
very in passing by.
yeah. Yeah, you said you met Eric Andre.
He was doing. He was headlining a festival that I worked. It was purely musical. I mean, he did his thing because it's when his started doing his show where he got pretty popular doing like weird skits.
Yeah.
So I met him. I met Trippy. What's his name? No, damn it. What the hell is his name? The guy, he does like electronic music. He's British. He was in The Fifth Element. Tricky. I met Tricky. You're familiar with Tricky?
No, I'm not.
Uh, Being the music person, I would say that you'd have
Yeah.
some kind of.
My my electronic music isn't all that there's some parts of music that I just really don't have enough knowledge of, and e-music is pretty much I have like a no
Nothing.
no I don't like DJ Shadow, you know what I mean, like if everyone would be like, do you know any of that music, I'm like, DJ Shadow, I don't know. So yeah, David working on that still.
Working on the fucking beacon, yeah. It's gonna be in all fucking shows and gonna figure something out.
I know.
No, yeah. So I met Eric Andre. It was briefly again in passing. When you work in the music industry, like I did, like doing the festivals and stuff, you get to it's a lot of passing and passing by. Oh, hey, look at this. So, but meeting Weird Al, it's like it's the most obscure people that I like. I would have been like you. Oh shit. Because I'm not a let's take a picture together type of person.
Right.
I really hate that because let them live. But it's just like you can like. I remember you. In what was the name of the movie that he was in with
UHF?
UHF. Oh my god, that movie ridiculous. Like I can't even remember anything about that movie because I was so young. But I remember I watched it and it had Kramer in it.
Yeah. You
So,
I remember seeing it too, and now looking back, I'm like, dude, we're basically a UHF channel. You know what I mean?
underground radio.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. So I remember like
wasn't he a janitor in the movie and he became like a disc jockey or trying to save the station?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. I have a little memory of this movie.
Yeah, I remember there was like they had a game show and the guy is like, "What do you win? You win nothing. You win nothing." Just like yeah, good times with those stories. If you've met or seen someone in passing, celebrity or musician, go ahead, slide in the DM or email us, drinkstowardsby@gmail.com, or slide in the DM on our Instagram. Again, the same, @drinkstowardsby. So I just finished the last of wedding season. I have two more events left though, but that are not weddings. But I have two more events left. And man, my last wedding was a little bit of a downer, dude. Like people were not, it was a really small wedding. It was like really small. It was like 90 people. And Yeah,
That's a lot of people. I mean, it's not like a small amount of people.
I yeah, but I've been doing like 150 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like I wasn't busy enough to, it was just like I was like the appropriate amount of busy, but like still it was like a little slow, But when they came in like groups of five, and then they would leave, So I had my waves. So yeah, but these guys, it's so funny. Like we have all these great beers, and maybe I'm turning into a beer person. I don't know, but when it's open tab, like I'm like, oh man, let me try this beer, let me try that beer, because I can, I don't know, me and liquor are like okay, but like maybe I'm just getting older, but try not to get all fucked up anymore, So I'm like, beer's kind of maybe I'm at that age now where I'm just like, I'm just gonna be a beer person. I don't know, as I'm drinking liquor, but
Yeah, it's just, who kind of go.
yeah,
Which is funny because I'm the one drinking beer.
I know. We're both so opposite. Like it's hot as fuck already, and I'm in a
Yeah,
tank top, and you're in like a black shirt, and I'm just like David, we cannot be any more opposite uh,
yeah.
for a lot.
But yeah, we get along. Yeah, we get along.
Yeah, I wrote down some topics.
Did you?
Oh, what the heck is this? Um,
You know, it's fucked up, but you don't even know.
yeah. Okay. Let's dig into this one, which is at 20. So when you're in your 20s, the money comes, and all we want is the party. I wrote that down because in your 20s, you're still living at home. You're not really too concerned about the future. You're just kind of, still going out with your friends and seeing what this whole, at night, nightlife is for the most part. And I was kind of like that too. I don't know how you were, but I was just out of the Marine Corps, and I was in college, and I was exploring at night, and I was living at home, and I was like, this money's never gonna stop. Like I can live off of $200 a month. You know what I mean? And party. So, but I think
Yeah,
that's
I could tip $20 on every round.
yeah. But I think that's what happens when you're 20. You're still not used to, you don't have rent. You don't have rent. You don't have the
Well,
utility
I don't know.
bills.
Your 20 and my 20s were a little different. I had a kid at 22, so my young party was like from 19 to 22, and then
Wow.
22 was like, all right, we got the boy coming, and yeah, so I already had like major responsibilities by 25, so it's a little different from mine. My partying came later. It was like late 20s, early 30s, and it was like the free for all. So yeah, a little bit different, but I understand what you're saying. It's like it's when you're young, you're a little more carefree. You have
Yeah.
like, especially you come out of the military, you traveled the world and you had some stuff. So you're like, all right, let me fucking go live life in America.
Yeah.
And
Let me see how the other half lives.
yeah,
Because I saw the other
so
half lived. I'm like, I don't want to. Don't
I
send
don't
me
want to live.
again. Don't send me again.
Yeah, yeah. Me and deserts, we don't mix.
Yeah, for
I'm not even
sure.
going to Vegas right now. I'm not going to Vegas for a while.
Or the beach. I was like, fuck the beach.
Any all sand,
Yeah.
peace.
God, you have traumatized me, Sand.
It's in every crevice.
Yeah. Can't stand Sand, man.
It's funny.
Yeah. What else did I write down? Let's see. Um, Oh, okay. How about settling versus setting down?
Oh, I
What was?
remember
Do
this.
you remember
Okay.
that? What was that about?
Yeah, the conversation because when we were outside, when we were outside talking, I think it was Amy, the girl Amy,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
and she kept using the word settle, like, oh, I want to settle. And when I hear settle, it's like I don't care. It's like I just want to whatever is there. So she made it seem like she was just looking for some whoever to be the boyfriend to be her with. Whereas, and then we brought it and like she's no, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, so you want to settle down, you don't want to settle. And I had to explain to her what the difference was. And your friend, it was like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah, Ryan,
There's
right?
a, yeah, right. There's a huge difference between I'm willing to settle and I want to settle down. So that was the thing. It's like, I ordered pepperoni and sausage, but they only said pepperoni. I'm gonna settle for the pepperoni.
That I ordered a sausage and pepperoni, but they sent me a sandwich.
Yeah,
It's like,
I guess I settled for the sandwich.
yeah,
So there's, like, it's a huge difference because she made it seem like any Joe Schmo that would give her attention, and I was like, let's go over here. Go.
Meanwhile, I was completely oblivious. I was just like,
Yeah, I was like, I'm just your perfect number. Go. Although I will give you this, you were much more in control because I feel like you drinking outside was a better situation for you because you weren't like just constantly ordering drinks and just there, just chilling and just drinking.
yeah,
Like you're outside, you're interactive. Like this is the Albert that I want people to see
yeah,
the social and interactive person. And you know you didn't get out of hand.
yeah,
I'm not saying you do get out of hand, but you and I both know what we're talking about.
yeah, yeah. I totally get it. Yeah, that
Because
was,
even at martini time, you were so good. I was like, oh, it's martini time, and you're not spilling. All right, great.
I did spill a little bit because he overflowed me. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh shit, okay.
It was a deep cup. I like the new martini glass.
Yeah,
It's very deep
yeah,
as opposed to that fucking
yeah.
little
Flat surface.
petri dish.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't get that one.
yeah.
Little plug fest, whatever.
So make sure you guys go check out the Cove and check out their new martini glasses. All the rage. Um. So yeah. So that what are your
You were
guys?
drinking the bad girl, was it?
Was I? No, she was right. Somebody was.
No, you were drinking. You were like the dirty, dirty, dirty martini. So it was like such a bad girl
Yeah.
martini. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah. Good times, guys. I like the martinis. Let's see. Oh, I went to a 5-year-old's birthday party, and so the piñata. Let's talk about the piñata really quick. Okay, always a classic, always a standard. You gotta have them now. It doesn't even matter if the piñata has transcended all ethnicities. I don't,
Cultures.
all
Okay.
cultures, all ethnicities. It doesn't matter whatever you practice. The piñata is there. It's not an official birthday unless there's a piñata, right?
No, that's not true. I would assume that cake. Cake is the official. That's the staple. It's like you know you want the cake and the piñata, but you'll settle for just the cake.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd be like, was there at least a grab bag to?
Yeah, see, but that's the thing. It's like white people don't do the fight for candies. They have the candies pre set up for everybody. Here's your bag. Get the fuck out. Got a nice little fucking that little game where you're trying to fight, you're trying to get the ball in the little hole going through the
Yeah.
maze.
But I noticed that the most dangerous part of the piñata isn't the swinging, the breaking of the piñata. It is the actual like putting up the piñata, like actually getting it ready for everybody else. Have you noticed that?
Okay, are you the are you the okay? So whose birthday party was it?
It was Marcus's son's Rivers.
Okay, so the last time I was there for I don't know if it was Marcus's birthday or Rivers. It might have been Rivers. I was on the roof doing the piñata.
Yeah, dangerous stuff.
Yeah, I had to get on the roof. So there's levels to this shit. It's like you tie it to a tree and only one person's like on a
Yeah.
ladder. Yeah. There's several ways to do the piñata, like two people on the roof, or even like, okay, are you the blindfold person or not the blindfold person?
You got a blindfold. That is part of piñata etiquette.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No.
If I don't believe I this because then there's the blindfold, then there's the blindfold with the spinning, and I always think like we're putting this in more danger and other people's lives in danger because you also nobody ever has like a designated piñata stick. It's always like, what do we have available? I think we need more like what is the proper tool for a piñata? Like what's the proper stick? One that's big enough for children and that's not gonna fly out of their hands and hit one of the other kids in the fucking head. Because then you have the danger of once the fucking you break the piñata and there's some candy that comes out, kids rush the fucking stage and somebody's still swinging.
Right. Right.
You have to have the piñata stopper. It's like you
Yes.
have to have the person that can rush in and grab the fucking stick out of the kid's hand. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Definitely.
see, yeah. Wait, I'm not done. There's levels to this shit. Because now you have the situation. You're blindfolded. You don't see all the candy. You don't know what's going on. Are you at a disadvantage as a child being the hitter? Are
Mm.
you missing out on candy because now somebody's taking a stick out of your hand? Now you got to take the thing off, and everybody's already at your feet.
I don't know, because you're already there. You just gotta like stop, drop, and roll. You know what I mean? And get that candy.
Steamroller, eh?
Yeah.
Get off, you hoser.
But you know what? We're missing out on
There's levels to this shit. There's levels to this shit.
we're missing out on $1 billion idea. Official drinks towards buy piñata sticks. Fully licensed
Fully
for
licensed.
all your pro piñata needs.
I'm in. We need piñata sticks. Like, what is the proper like? Is it a broomstick? You get the good swing on that.
It would have to
I don't
be
know.
like a stickball stick. You know what I mean?
Stickball stick, okay.
Yeah, and they already
This is
make those.
California. Not a lot of people play stickball.
Yeah, but here's the thing that which makes it even better. We get with the stickball company, buy their sticks, and just re-license them, repurpose them.
Rebrand,
Yeah, the things
rebrand
already.
them.
Yeah, the infrastructure's already there.
Levels of this shit. Levels of this shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you
Yeah, we
want
got
to be in on the ground floor on the drinks
the
towards
ground floor of this
by
multi-billion-dollar deal.
yeah. I have charts that show the piñata stick industry. It's ripe and ready to be taken. So make sure to get in on this fantastic investment where you too can be a part of this. We would really appreciate it. Again, email us drinks towards by.
The funny thing is like, okay,
at gmail.com. Are you still trying to
What survives inflation? Pinatas.
and deflation as well? So because it'll
I
never.
would, I would, I would love that. We need. Who is it? Like, we need a pinata maker. We like a whole pinata company. You can make pinatas. You can special. There was a company at the mall way back
Yeah,
when they would make like designer pinatas,
yeah, yeah.
and I think I would love a pinata of us, just like us, and then people just smashing our fucking faces.
But it's for 21 and older, and there's no candy
Yeah,
but little liquor bottles that come out. Yes,
yeah,
this has legs.
definitely. It
I
says legs.
I can totally see it. Yeah, I actually knew the people that ran the piñata company because they would come into the cafe that I worked at when they just
Oh,
started.
okay, so yeah, you remember the company? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they were really cool.
Did you ever? Okay, so in that company, there was an artist who used to do super emo friends. You remember that?
Mm-mm. No.
So he'd make little drawings of famous like characters,
Uh huh.
but make them sad about something. It was called Super Emo
Yeah.
Friends. So he had one, and it's funny because I started following him on Instagram, and he goes to the cons. Like,
Yeah.
I can find him at Comic Con or WonderCon and stuff. Like, I'll stop by, I show friends. I don't know him personally. Like, I don't, but he used to have this one where it was a Darth helmet, and he's all sad. It's Darth helmet, like, Rick Moranis all sad, and it goes, "I'm surrounded by assholes." Super sad. Or it's got the guys with the afro cut. They're all sad. We ain't found shit.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, right. I don't know buy one. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
If I had an office desk, I'd like want to have it.
Just there, just to yeah, good times. Um, saw the Rescue Rangers movie. Wanted to talk to you about that. You recommended it to me.
Okay, okay. Now, obviously, you don't go in thinking this is a Oscar nominated film. Obviously, it's the
Obviously,
Rescue
yeah.
fucking Rangers.
I don't know. I was like, this is Emmy Award winning. I could totally
Yeah.
see him getting the Allogot or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
EGOT. They're totally EGOT material.
So, what did you think?
Um, shockingly amazing. Shockingly, like when you gave, I believe it was it on the show that you gave that recommendation?
I think so.
And I was like, okay, but just the way my life was, I just couldn't like just watch it. So
Yeah.
I had to wait for the right time, and I believe it was last week. I actually had some downtime, and I was like, okay, I'm like, let's watch it. Like I'm in. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what this is all about. And as I was watching it, I was just like, man, this is actually funny. This is actually they're actually pulling it off. Like I was a big Rescue Rangers fan. I
Yeah.
loved
So,
I, I
anything Disney afternoon.
yeah, I loved Monterey Jack. I loved everything. And I just needed a little bit more of the other characters. Like Gadget comes in like at the beginning real briefly, and then at the end with Zipper, and they're like 10 billion fucking kids. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, Zipper's unzipping a lot. You know what I mean?
But it's funny because yeah, he said, yeah, one kid fly has like the big gloves and
Yeah,
shit. They're all like different forms. It's fucking hilarious. Like, there was a scene where they were like in a movie theater, right? And you see, it was like they brought like very nostalgia '90s or
yeah,
like just animated character. They had this Scrooge McDuck at the like the Russian spa area.
yeah,
Like, he was bathing in the gold coins,
yeah.
and then it
Stan
was the like,
Marsh.
oh, I had the CGI surgery.
Yeah,
I was like, he CGI. it was there was so much to it that just it fit. You know, to me, it just fit. And I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed the movie because like I said, I found it funny, and it was just like every nostalgia that I needed was perfectly kind of matched. I
And
didn't think, obviously, they could have always done more, but there was nothing that like if they say this is it, like I can see a sequel. You know, they're bringing the band back together where there is more Gadget and Zipper. I'm down. I'm in.
yeah, and what well, you know what I even love the part where like they're in the garage, and then you're just seeing stuff from like older. They just have the random stuff there from the other like episodes and stuff like that. So it was, yeah, you're right. It was really well quite done. What was funny and weird was that they were just talking in normal voices, but then when they would get mad at each other, then it was like they were talking the typical Chip and Dale voice. I'm like, that's the
Yeah.
Chip and Dale that I know. So yeah, the plot was really good, and the thing that I liked about the plot, which was smart, was they're making and if you haven't seen this, spoiler alert, they're getting these old cartoon characters, and then they're changing them and turning them into like you know what was it called, like off-brand characters. And so
It's
because
like it's like sex trafficking of fucking of animated characters.
yeah, and but that leads into they can do whatever they want. Like you were able to get a Stan Marsh in there because that's not Stan Marsh. That's a offshoot of him.
Yeah.
And like all these different just random cartoon characters that you remember that you're like Disney doesn't own that, but they're in there. So really cool. Like again, and David, you were always right on the money. Anytime you recommend something, I always say, you know what, David. David has a pretty good, keen sense of things. So I usually pay attention, and yeah. So good review. Good acknowledgement. Anything? Not to put you on the spot, but what else have you seen that you would recommend?
Uh, lately, I haven't had much time. I mean, between Chicago and just life, I haven't had a chance to really watch anything really new. What did I watch on the plane? I rewatched Tag. You remember the movie Tag? I
Yes.
think did I discuss this in the last one? When we
Tag.
were the Chicago?
Tag is where I forgot who's in it. What's his name? The guy that plays the ultimate tag is Hawkeye from the
Yeah,
MCU.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy
Yeah,
Renner. Yeah, and it's like they're getting married, and like they're doing like one last game of tag before it's all over, or something like that, right?
his friends, they get
Yeah.
together like 1 month a year where everybody's like, you have to play tag, and they kept it up so that they like never grew old. It was always like they always got to play, be friends. So yeah, I don't know what it is about that movie, but it just makes me laugh so fucking much, and I loved it. So it's like it's hard to be on a plane and not bust out laughing. You know what I mean? Because I would like I unique laugh, so to speak, when I'm really just fucking going off. Everybody knows it. If you watch the show, you've heard me. But it's hard, like you're in a plane with like 100 other people, and like I can't go full. It's like trying to laugh and like keep it in.
Yeah.
It's funny. But there, I saw Tag. I saw the newest Bond.
Oh,
Uh,
like Time to Finally Die or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
How was that?
um, I'm a big Bond
Are you?
spy movie guy. I really enjoy spy movies. So I'm really big into the Mission Impossibles. I love all Mission Impossibles, like a Jack Reacher. Um, I love Daniel Craig as Bond. I think they try too hard to put this in a bow and end it. Uh, it was okay. It was. I feel like they tried too hard to create a storyline. It was like it felt oversaturated in like I needed more villain Bond moment, but they killed off characters and stuff, so they opened it up. Now the idea is that they want Idris Elba to be the newest Bond,
Right. I heard about that. Yeah.
but yeah, but then you'd have to reboot. So now it becomes: is James Bond Bond, or is that character 007? Because in this movie, they have a different character who is 007. It's like 007 is like yeah. So it's like did they killed off Daniel Craig, but they get to live on the 007 name.
Right. Right.
So
Well,
if
007
they move,
is the serial number, the license number to kill. So yes, that
that's
and that's what I always thought was that 007 is that's just the license number to kill anybody, and James Bond is just like you're now James Bond. That's your alias, like your very born identity. Like you no longer have an identity. Your identity now is just gonna be this is gonna be your hotel room name. Whenever you check in, you just say that you're
very
James.
Men in Black. What's an M? You're like yeah, J.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so they know where they want to go with the storyline because the Bond series will never die. Hiatus. Like, do you know other series will never die? Like fucking even like horror movies. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre has redone so many fucking times.
Yeah.
It's one dude who kills people. I was like, how do you not like how do murderers like this get away with shit?
Well, I would like to see it, especially now. He's running around with a chainsaw, especially with these gas prices. You know, he's just like, well, I can't rev it up now. Gas is fucking expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta wait to kill.
Yeah.
It's gonna be special. Like you can't, like yeah. How do you go to a gas station and just put your chainsaw down while you have somebody's face? You're wearing somebody's face and just get filling up like, fuck. I can only kill. I can only kill maybe a person and a half today. I don't have
Yeah.
enough money for this.
Oh yeah. Well, there's also Jurassic World that came out. What is this? The like
Okay.
ninth, the ninth story about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are no longer extinct.
I don't. I don't know the number, but I've heard. Okay. So movies that have come out recently, Maverick. Everybody's been raving about Maverick.
I think
I haven't heard. I haven't heard one bad thing about Maverick.
have you not listened to my to the did I review Maverick? Maybe you weren't there. I did an episode where I reviewed Maverick. I went and I saw it.
Was it with Maria and that weekend?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, yeah, I
It was with Marie and
haven't got that
Andrea.
episode there. I was in Chicago and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't like Maverick?
It was okay, but just to kind of recap, and this is spoiler alert again, is the whole thing was Star Wars. Okay,
Also,
all right.
explain it to me.
All right. Have you seen Maverick?
I haven't. I've been wanting to watch it.
Okay, so let me tell you the plot of Maverick, and tell me if this doesn't jog your memory of a certain space age saga drama, if you will.
Okay, but you can't explain it in the way that you want me to follow what you're saying. You have to just go,
No,
okay,
no,
this is
no,
the
no.
plot, and let
This
me make my own sense.
this is
Okay.
the plot. They have to. Maverick has to train these guys to fly through a a canyon surrounded by like missiles and stuff like that to shoot a vent because this vent is the only way to blow up this nuclear power plant. This one exposed
So,
vent is.
but the Death Star. Totally okay.
I was like, does
Okay.
does anyone not see that this
Was it?
is Star Wars? Right? I was like, really? Event is the only. Yeah. Okay.
It's the only way good there. Huh?
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
all
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
right. You win, sir. I mean, the moment you said it, I'm like, oh, laser. Yeah, yeah. Star Wars. That is. Yeah, they're destroying the Death Star.
Yeah.
Huh? All right, gotcha. Did they follow the missile that went in too?
No. No. Well, now this is the plot twist. They had to do two shots, so they had to first blow the ventilator off and then shoot another missile in. So
Oh, so it's not Star Wars. It's completely
yeah,
different.
because it's two missiles, not one. It's two. So just like
That's like, did you ever watch the Star Wars from Family Guy
yeah,
when Stewie's Darth Vader?
yeah,
Like, oh yeah, there's this small vent. Hey, yeah, that's something we wish you addressed this. Like, this like, hey, there's actually a way for us to destroy it. I mean, we should just address this.
yeah.
Put a bridge or something. Yeah. So yeah, what's the what else is out? Jurassic World. I've actually heard bad things about Jurassic World.
I've heard bad things too.
It was, yeah. So I don't want to spend the money. I don't know. There's nothing in the theater that makes the only movie right now that I would go to the theater for, and I'm still like a year away from it, is John Wick. I just love John Wick. Everything else, I mean, I can kind of watch. I heard Morbius is really bad. Jurassic World is not good. I heard Maverick is good. You're the first person, and I'm not saying that you're saying it's bad.
I'm
You're
not.
Just like,
I was just like,
yeah.
this is
It's
Star
just,
Wars.
I know this story.
Yeah. I don't even want to ruin the other part. I'll tell you the second part that's Star Wars.
Okay.
That's Star Wars, but I'll tell you it off air because it's a major spoiler. It's a major spoiler, but I'm like,
Okay.
Star Wars. Everything else just like
Okay. So
Star Wars did that.
I did start watching everything everything
Oh
all at
yes,
once.
yes. Where can I find that?
Yes.
Where can I find that?
I'll tell you that off air.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll tell you off air. Yeah.
There's a
Um,
guys. There's a lot going on off air. We should start a new show, off air
Yeah.
conversations.
The off air episode.
Yeah.
So now I've been wanting to watch this because one, it has the lady from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I can never remember her name,
Yeah, the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon guy. Yeah.
but great. Her acting is very good. Yeah.
And it
But
has
two, and even maybe that should be my one.
is the other person that's in it?
Data.
Yeah,
Yes, it's Data from the Goonies.
yeah.
So he stopped doing movies because he felt that there wasn't a good uh, it wasn't Hollywood wasn't made for Asians at the time, and he was actually still in Hollywood. He was a fight choreographer.
Oh, wow.
Choreographer. That's the word. Choreographer. So he did fight scenes in movies. But when I guess when Rich Crazy Asians came out, he decided to get back in the game. And I haven't finished the movie, but for Wesley, he actually does a really good action scenes. So I'm like, it's fucking Data. So like the whole nostalgia of Chip and Dale's comes
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
I'm like, it's it's a sci-fi movie. It's kind of over the top, but from what I've seen, it works. When I finish it, I'll give like a full review. But yeah, I've actually enjoyed watching it.
yeah.
So
Sports.
yeah, sports.
Okay, this was a sports thing that I'm sure you know about, and it's the Angels. They fired their manager.
Well, they finally won last night after a 13 game losing streak.
Yeah, but I was like,
They
okay,
they went from first place to losing 12 in a row, and they fired their manager.
yeah, and I was like, that's that. I'm like, firing your manager should never be a still in season thing. It should be like, okay, it's September. This shit's not gonna happen. Let's get out. B-
Well,
Baseball
yeah,
is
because here's the
such
thing.
a
No, because
long
here's the thing.
sport,
The long
and
sport. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and just because you lose 12 in a row doesn't mean that you can't climb out of it. You know,
Yeah, you can't beat the Oakland A's and win like 19 in a row.
yeah, exactly. So, I thought it was too much. I was like, dude, you guys are. I'm like, this is why the Angels will always suck, And I actually now you tell me if this was a pro move or not. I actually called the Cove because when this happened, it happened to be on a Tuesday, and two Angel fans happened to be working that day, and Abraham and Kelby. And so I called the Cove, and Kelby answered. I'm like, hey,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm looking for Greg Maddox. I'm like, is he there at the Cove, popping champagne? Saying he dodged a bullet. Is Greg Maddox there? And then
Was Greg Maddox supposed to be the coach?
huh? Yeah,
Was
that was the
Greg
name of
Maddox
the.
supposed to be a coach?
That was his name, Greg Maddox.
No, it was Joe Madden. Joe Madden
Oh,
was the coach.
Joe Madden. Maybe that's what it was. Joe Madden. So I was like, is Joe Madden
Yeah, I was
there?
like, wait, who?
Yeah. It was like, is Joe Madden? I don't know. At the time, I was like, is Joe Madden there? And they're like, and he's like, ha, no, no, no. And so then, because I'm driving, when I heard the news, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta pop in. I gotta pop in and talk to these guys. So then I popped in like half an hour later, and I'm just like, because I had to know. I'm like, guys, what are your sentiments? Like as being Angel fans, like you guys are kind of like my PR company for them. Like, how are you guys feeling? And I think that's what's hilarious about being a fan, especially of a team that isn't that popular. When something major happens, you automatically gravitate to those fans and be like, dude, like everyone becomes a PR person for that team. Like anytime something happens with the Browns, like which we'll talk about in 1 second, I want to get your perspective as a fan. But so those are the two things that I did. But I know you're not a baseball fan, but what do you think about that though? So kind of early in the season, getting rid of
I
your manager.
I think there had to be more underlying because one, it's still early in the season. We're not even through the season, and you're right. I don't believe in maybe towards the end of the season I get firing, but you're so early in the season that you haven't even hit the trade deadline. You can't even make a couple moves. Like you can't hire a coach to start over from the beginning of the middle of the season. Like you just have like the interim coach who was the first base coach or whatever. Like, well, this guy was with them when they were lost 12. So why did you give this guy? Why are you
Yeah,
giving this guy the chance?
yeah,
So I'm with you completely on that. I think it's way too early in the season to fire the coach because they went on a 12-game skid. I mean, I really believe there had to be something else going on that we'll
Yeah.
never know about. But I am in total agreement. It was a bad call. It was a
I
bad call to fire the
I think
coach
we're
for
gonna
sure.
know about it when the season ends. When the season ends, then they're gonna kind of drop the you really got fired because of some
Yeah,
indiscretions or something like that. So
yeah. Very Urban Meyer esque or fucking
y-
or as you want to bring up Deshaun Watkins.
yes, let's bring up the Browns.
Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Let's bring up the
Um,
Browns. Come on.
dude, they are in such a predicament. They got Deshaun Watson, and his life is going
They paid a lot for him. They paid a lot.
idiot, 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 and poor Baker Mayfield, because now a lot of the talking heads are saying that Baker Mayfield is just okay. He's not this phenom that everybody kind of hoisted him up to, and they're like, they're kind of downgrading him. It's like, well, maybe he'll just be a backup quarterback and have that kind of type of career. And now they're kind of screwed, with Baker Mayfield because now Baker Mayfield's like, well, this is all you got now. Still, like that Deshaun Watson thing, I don't think is going away.
Well, here's the thing: is the do I like how they handled Baker? No. Did I think Baker? I never. I did. I the people who know me, like when I talk about football, I never wanted Baker. I didn't. I wanted Josh Allen originally, but I respect Baker for the fact that he changed the Browns. He turned the Browns around. They went from an 0-16 team to a team with a winning record. They made the playoffs. Like, so he's got my respect. Don't get me wrong. I don't wish him ill will, and I hope I said this before. He ruined him. He messed up his own career by trying to play hurt. He was trying to be the tough guy. You had a team that should have made the playoffs, and had he just shut down and go, I'm not going to benefit the club. I want to take the time to get healed. He would still be a Browns quarterback. But in the hindsight of what's going on with Deshaun Watson, did you hear what happened as to how he came across all these women?
No.
See, so there's like more and more women coming out. There's more accusations. None of it's criminal. This is all civil lawsuits. So they're not. Nothing was there to file criminal case against it. So that's also a situation where it's like, well, is it suspendable if it's not a criminal case? This is just fucking thing. So the Houston Texans, the actual fucking team, they were the ones that set up all the massages. They rented out a hotel room specifically for him to get the massages. They were bringing the masseuses
Wow.
in, and they had him sign NDAs.
Wow.
So they already knew what was going on. So the team as a whole set him up for failure. So now they're defended as well because they knew what was going on. They just brushed it on the under the fucking rug. So when he demanded a trade and they didn't trade him, it's all one big story, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
as much as Deshaun Watson is to blame, and I'm not saying that he's innocent in regards to what he may have done. If they believe it's not criminal, I'm not here to. I wasn't the jury. I don't have every fact. Do I believe that he probably is going to lose a lot of money?
Probably. Yeah.
Yes. Give a fuck. But though, if you look at it, you know, the Houston Texans are an accessory because they're the ones that set everything up. You give this guy a hotel room. You're the one calling the companies and setting the companies up with him, and having a lawyer have an NDA fucking contract ready for these women to sign. You knew what was going to happen. You didn't stop it. you're fucking a pimp at this point. The Houston Texans were a pimp. So yeah, there's a lot more that goes on here.
But what's going to happen to the Browns? Like it seems like everything's on fire, and their only hope is, sadly, again, Baker Mayfield.
It's not. They're not. They're gonna get rid of Baker. Baker is not going to play for the Browns. He's done with the Browns. They have two backups. Here's the problem: the contract that they signed with Deshaun is fully guaranteed. So unless their lawyer was good enough to go, there has to be a clause. The Browns are going to eat shit for 15 years.
Oh, what?
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 Well, dude, you give 5 years. You gave 5 first-round draft picks.
Fuck.
And you promised this guy $230 million. So unless you have a clause in your contract that states if so and so happens,
right,
that contract is now null and void. They're out $230 million to somebody who may never play for the Browns. Wow. And you're lost 5 years worth of fucking draft picks. So now you're in a situation where you're under cap space. It's a whole thing that's gonna happen. But honestly, best case scenario, he gets suspended for 6 games. The Browns are going to be the Browns. They're going to be okay because at the end of the day, it's football, and they've let fucking killers back on the field. They may not have been convicted, but
yeah, they're convicted in the court of opinion. Totally get it.
Well, even Kareem Hunt, our running back, was fucking part of a domestic dispute. Ray Rice, who beat his wife on video, all these motherfuckers still get a fucking second chance. It's just like if we change the subject, and we'll stay in sports, but just a little sidestep. You look at like Chris Brown, right? You have evidence that this man beat a woman. He's still selling out concerts. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're popular. Oftentimes, and it's disgusting to me. Like, did I want Deshaun Watson with everything that was going on? No, I didn't. But as a fact, okay, I don't have to support him. I'm supporting the team and hoping that he brings us. Hey, you have to bring us wins because we paid for you to be their quarterback. I don't have to like you. I don't like Floyd Mayweather, but I still think he's a great boxer. I don't know. It's a tough situation to be in. Yeah. Because even the Dodgers, what's the Dodger that fucking on suspension for?
That guy, Trevor Bauer.
Yeah,
that whole thing is what a cluster fuck that is.
I paid him a shitload of money.
Yeah, I don't even know, dude. And it's weird because until right now, until right now, I completely forgot about it. Like, it kind of went away.
Yeah.
Everyone's just hush hush about it. And
that's what happens. He's suspended for the whole year.
They suspended for the whole year?
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. The Dodgers are going through their own pains right now. Walker Buehler just hurt his elbow or something like that, and he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, basically 2 months, to heal with that. And Walker Buehler was like the number one ace, you know what I mean? And he, even moved up Clayton Kershaw, and Clayton Kershaw is just getting back from injury too. So it's, see
that Kershaw signing this year was to me was dumb. I get what he's done, but he's hurt. You gotta fucking move on. It's the as I say it's the Kobe effect.
Yeah.
Like, Kobe was like, in his later years, he was like, he shouldn't have been paid as much as he was. They were just like doing like, we're gonna pay you out of respect. And that's what happened with Messi in Barcelona. Is like, oh, we want to keep Messi because he's the greatest player of all time, which he's one of the best players of all time. But when you pay somebody so much money, because you're trying to just to keep the namesake, you hurt the team as a whole. Like it has to become a business decision where like, hey, you're not going to benefit the team. We need to get something out of it. Like, dude, had the Lakers traded Kobe away in his last couple of years, they could have fucking stole the show. They would have got like 7 first round draft picks. You know what I mean? It's the truth though.
Yeah. Yeah. But there is something to say about an organization that'll it's so hard now to be with one team for your entire career. That is
As a player,
yeah. Yeah, that is truly tough. So I mean I get the Kobe thing. I get why it happened. As a fair weather fan, you know what I mean? Yeah.
here, let me give you one. Uh, Joe Thomas, the left tackle for the Cleveland Browns. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's the closest thing the Browns have had in fucking 40 years to a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Now, he has the record for most consecutive snaps played. He never missed a game type of thing until like his final season. And he played with the Browns his entire career. Now, mind you, at one point I was like, dude, trade him. Let him go win because he was the best.
Yeah.
But when you're playing your team, you got a shitty team.
Yeah.
But he stayed with them, the Browns. He was the Browns guy through and through. Works with their fucking, he's a broadcaster. So I get it. But he wasn't taking money away from other players. Whereas like Messi, Kobe, they were taking money from other players and an advancement of a team. So I think sometimes that you can't think with your heart, you have to think with your head. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you gave us, we have to move forward. Like even LeBron, like as a Cavs fan, I love LeBron. I loved him for what he did for the Cavs. I don't think he's a bad person. Everybody makes him out to be. He was fighting hatred because of what media made him out to be. He never called himself the king. Media called him the king. So when you put somebody in the pedestal, other people are going to try to knock on the pedestal. And he is somebody who's like, even he is kind of handcuffed teams. Like I think the Lakers, they've tried their best to fit people around him, but everybody's been injured. Like this last season, like it was just like it was injury galore. It was a fucking farce of a team. Now they're bringing in a new coach. Yada yada yada.
Did I tell you about the bitch?
LeBron is getting to a point where he's no longer what he was. And the team has to realize that and go, we need to get value out of this player. Like if I'm the Lakers, I trade him. I would rebuild. Fuck, trade him for Kevin Durant and the Nets or something.
I'll tell you what I would do. And
what would you?
Okay, I would do everything in my power to draft LeBron James's son.
Every team's gonna do that. Any team that gets LeBron James' son automatically gets LeBron James.
Yeah, but I mean, we already have LeBron James. Let's just get his son, and that way we can have that. I don't know that income. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now we have that, and then he does his 1 year, and then they get, then they trade LeBron James. Like, okay, we gave you 1 year with your son. Well,
the thing is, all he wants to do is play 1 year with his son, and then he'll retire.
Yeah,
he's done. He's been in the NBA longer than he's been like not in the NBA. Like he was 18 when he went into the NBA, so they did the stats. He's lived longer in the NBA than he lived longer not in the NBA.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Beyond. Anything happening else in sports?
Let me see. Nations League soccer is going on. World Cup's not till December. I am upset. So, as a soccer fan, and my favorite team being Real Madrid is going to play Barcelona July 26th in Las Vegas.
Mm,
I will be in San Diego working Comic Con.
of course.
Fucking kills me. It fucking kills me. But if you have a chance, Real Madrid, Barcelona,
In
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
Well,
Yeah.
probably at the Raiders stadium, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
playing Raiders
Regents.
Stadium. They're playing.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
I would go in a heartbeat. Like, yeah, I would call every number I had. I would fucking hit up my friends that I work with. Like, hey, I need to play this Crash for a night.
Yeah. Very cool. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that could, dude, not bad sports segment. Not bad sports segment.
yeah. We actually kept on sports too.
Yeah. Very cool. Last call for topics. Last call. Any topics you want to discuss?
I had to bar etiquette some people recently. Uh, a lot of people they weren't obnoxious with it, but they were like, you know, you could see that they did have some pre gaming because they're taking their trash out of the alcohol and going into the like heading towards the bar and put it in the trash.
Yeah.
And I told them, everybody, I'm like, look, here's the thing. Just if you ever do this again, it was a slow night. Do not have alcohol with you, whether it's finished or not, coming towards a bar. Because I have every right to say, no, you can't come in. I'm just like, here's your little like pass. Be better. And I'm just trying to like, I was just like really upset. Dude, I'm fucking. It was like four people. They shared. They had two Trulies. I'm like, I mean, you're. I know you're not drunk, but be better.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
fucking better. You know, because ultimately I can just say no.
Yeah. That was one. Okay, what was your other bar etiquette?
That was no. It was two different groups that
Oh,
had
got
the
it.
same thing. Just
Got it.
with the alcohol.
Got
I
it.
don't have any bar etiquettes. Because the bar etiquette it starts to become redundant. It's like, dude, stop saying, "Oh, I'm 18. I have a fake ID." Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit. Just give me your fucking ID. Shut the fuck up. Give me your ID. Stop being a dick. Stop thinking you're funny.
Yeah.
You're not funny. You? Any last topics?
I do. I have one last topic that we'll go into, and that is that I noticed a trend in the English language or in language in general.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the new yes and no answer. Have you noticed this where someone's like, hey, do you go out a lot? And they say yes and no. They've completely, derived
Contradict what the
yes,
saying.
because it's like the answer is yes and no. And it's like, well, what happened to maybe? We've tossed maybe out of the English language and just, said yes and no. Like,
Well, I don't think maybe fits in that question.
but have you noticed this? I even saw it pop in a movie. I don't know if it was a movie or if it was a TV show. And someone said yes and no. I'm like, dude, this yes and no is becoming, and maybe I'm the only one that sees it. Maybe you see it too, but I notice this so much.
I have not noticed it. I have not noticed the yes and no. Um, no, I can't. I can't think anything else offhand right now. Where I'm like, yeah, that's that. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, no.
You're gonna see it, and when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh my god, you're right.
Yes and no. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Like when someone asks me, like, "Oh, are you on the radio?" I'm like, "Well, yes and no."
But yeah, but see, but maybe doesn't fit there.
Yeah,
Yes and no makes sense. Maybe doesn't fit there.
right.
Nobody's going like, do you want like? Okay, let's go back to the whole pizza thing. Do you want pepperoni? Yes and no. It doesn't work.
Well, it does because like yes and no. Yes, I want it on half, but I don't want it on the whole thing.
Touche, touche. You win that argument. Now I want pizza.
I know. I know. Let me pick you up. We'll order a pizza, not from Anna's, but from somewhere else. I haven't had pizza in a while. It's weird. Pizza comes in weird moments in my life. As far as like when I want pizza, like I'll go a week of like just random pizzas popping in my life. And then I'm like, oh my God, I've had too much pizza. And then I'll go on a drought. So, yeah, uh, pizza's amazing. So let us know what you think, guys, about anything that we talked on the show. Go ahead, email us drinkstowardsby at gmail.com or go ahead and slide in the DM.
Yeah. If anybody thinks Maverick is also the equivalent of Star Wars, please let us know if you agree with Albert's assessments. Let us know if you watch Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers and if you feel the same way. I want to know more about the movie part of it.
Yeah. Or if we swayed you to watch it, let us know. You know,
Yeah.
even better. Let's go into the Cove, guys. You know, even though we're not at the Cove is always within us. So feel free to stop by and give them a plug. You know, and give them some of your hard-earned cash because they have the best whiskey selection if you're so inclined to the whiskey in the San Gabriel Valley. If not, dare I say, all of Los Angeles, all of Southern California, perhaps even in all of the United States. They have some of the best selections of whiskey. And dare I say, best gin selection. Their gin game, I have to applaud them. I must say, going from like 3 gins to now like 8. It's absolutely fantastic, and I applaud them.
How many gins are really out there?
There's a lot, man.
I don't know. I mean, you I follow the TikToks and stuff like that, and you see people who do the whiskeys and you see people who do the tequilas. There's never really a channel designated for fucking gin.
You say.
Uh,
Ah, ah.
New topic.
What would we name it? Albert, Gin Man Extraordinaire. Or like Gin and Al. I don't know.
I was gonna say that. Can I get a gin and Albert?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Like a gin and tonic. Yeah, I do. You should start a gin channel.
Yeah. You're right.
Why not? Start a gin channel. Fucking start like building your gin selection, and then hey, we got Penny Pound Ice to come on board. As far as like be on the show, get a gin company. Go, hey, you know what? Let's fucking, especially an upcoming gin company.
Yeah. Yeah. Like aviation or something like that. Some unknown brand. Yeah, that
Aviation isn't unknown. It's
I
Ryan
I
Reynolds.
it's called a joke, David. Jeez.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Mr. Sarcasm there.
Yes. Yeah, so go ahead and hit up the Cove, covecocktailbar.com. Let them know that you heard about them on Drinks to Words By and receive absolutely nothing. Drop our name, receive absolutely nothing. But you will get in return good times. So covecocktailbar.com. Highly recommend them. It's the place that we usually drink at, but for right now, we can't be there. It happens. We are on the Venmo. I don't know if you know this or not, David, but we can actually receive e-tips. And if you guys like us, if you don't like us, if you want to buy us a drink, buy us off, or you just want to throw us some money, please do. Hit us up on the Venmo at Drinks to Words By. Let me show that on the thing. There it is, Venmo, Drinks to Words By. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, a plethora of very different platform streaming partners that you can go check us out on. So go ahead and hit up drinkstowardsby.com.
If you want to start your own podcast, hit up Albert and he will show you how to do this.
Yes, I do.
For a price.
Yes.
There is a price to this. Don't think it's free, but we've helped somebody. We didn't help somebody, but our podcast made somebody else start a podcast. Hey, if you have an inkling, an itch, by all means, hit us up. Let us know what you're thinking, and we can give you some tips. We've been
Yeah,
doing this for a couple years now.
yeah. And not only that, but I mean, let's say you just want to do it, but you don't want to do the work. Guess what? I'm a producer. I can make all that happen. I can do virtual shows. I can do live shows. I can do all your podcasting needs, of course, for a monetary, you know, thing. For a monetary thing,
Yeah, compensation.
compensation for my time.
Compensation. Yeah,
You're not paying for my experience. You're paying for my time, which is more valuable. So, and for those that don't know, having a podcast is quite the undertaking. I'm not saying that to discourage you. I'm not saying that to try to prove a point. But what I am saying is that everybody thinks, "Oh, I'll just start a podcast." How hard could that be? If you don't have the right people, the right tools, it could be very hard. And
yeah.
I always tell people, by all means, if you want to go at it by yourself, do it. I did, and I'm like 15 years into podcasting, so I've been through a lot, and I can help you further along than yourself. But to each their own. If you want to go at it by yourself, like I did, go ahead, and maybe in 15 years you'll be at this point. But I can get you there a lot quicker. So yeah. So yeah, is that it? Is that all of our plugs? Did we do all of our
Yeah,
plugs? Okay.
I believe we plugged it out.
All right.
Plugged it out.
And that's it. What would we call this?
Final cheers.
Final cheers. What do we call? Final cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Final cheers. David, what are we cheersing to this week?
What am I choosing to? I don't remember much. Give me a second. I hadn't put much thought into this because.
By the way, the final cheers is never. It's what's funny. It's we know that we always have to do this, and yet I always feel that all of us are just on the whim doing the final cheers.
Yeah, it's because it's last second. I mean, not last second, but it's like it wasn't thought of. It wasn't a thought. I'm trying to think of anything that's happened that's good. I always try to cheers good things as opposed to bad things. So, fuck, I don't have one right now. Okay, so yesterday I had the wife and I we went on a little adventure. I had to run an errand, and we went errands shopping, and we went to a meat market. So we got Wagyu ribeye steaks. Not cheap, but quite delicious. So shout outs to Wagyu beef. I'm not saying you should do this on the constant, but if you get a chance, try some Wagyu beef. Cheers to the meats and the chef. Did a pretty good job. Big medium rare guy. So yeah, cheers to Wagyu beef. Very obscure, I get it, but it was one of the few joys I've had in the last week because Chicago really fucked me over.
All right, and my final cheers is gonna go out to nagging alarms. Okay, uh, change your batteries, people.
It's just a battery. It's just a battery.
Change the.
It didn't want to fucking exit. Sorry.
Change your batteries, people. Don't
I was
let
literally spinning.
those those annoying alarms. Sometimes people are not annoyed.
I'll have a fix. I'll have a fix for the next time.
Yeah, sometimes people are not annoyed by these annoying alarms. So my shout out is to the annoying alarms and the people that ignore them. You are truly a special breed of person.
Well, we could have been at the Cove, but no. Actually, right now, no.
Yeah, no.
We both got going in our lives. Yeah, right now, Cove is not our friend as far as
Yeah.
podcasting.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Nothing.
cheers,
Yeah.
cheers,
Cheers.
cheers to you. Cheers to us as a group. Cheers to all our listeners, all our viewers on YouTube. We truly appreciate you. We understand that that you give us a little bit of your time, and we thank you for that because ultimately we've been doing this for a very long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, very long. 100. I don't even know what number we're at. Like 130 something.
We're reaching 140. If not at 140, it's a combination of over like 4 years worth of
Yeah,
podcasting.
4 years worth of podcasting, going on still strong
Yeah.
as ever. So thank you again to everyone that tuned in and that's listening and drinking everywhere all across this entire earth. So really appreciate it. Yes. David, that's going to wrap it up for another edition of Drinks to Words by Kick 'em Out.
You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up off our show. Good night.
But more than likely, you are home listening. So
Yeah. Well, instead of listening on the road,
I know.
remember we've had people who a lot of our workers who like dealing with us in traffic,
Yeah.
or UPS, FedEx drivers that have to listen to us and they're like they have to lower the radio because we're cussing her out the store.
And that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Drinks and Words by. And we're out of here later.
But